Thank you, Michael. Look, I do want to say a few words because, like many of my colleagues, I have deep connections into this company. My mother worked for this company for 25 years. My sister's a flight attendant with them now. She's fortunate enough to be getting JobKeeper and being kept on. Why in God's name shouldn't those 2,500 people who were getting JobKeeper, the company's getting JobKeeper on their behalf, 800 million in subsidies, for the very reason that our Prime Minister, who purports to stick up for people, who purports to say that the whole point of JobKeeper and the 800 million was to keep those connections going, those employment connections going. And we heard Mr. Joyce actually come out and say months ago that it's a great thing that JobKeeper is being extended to March because our people will feel secure and that employment can continue. And then this bloke, who's one of the highest paid CEOs in the country, turns around and outsources their job to companies who have a deplorable reputation in industrial relations, making people work split shifts, sleeping on floors, and getting paid substantially less than permanent employees get. Now, this is about justice, it's about social justice, and it's about the sort of Australia we want. Qantas is emblematic of this country. Everyone looks to it as the national carrier, and it used to be a company which did have great employment standards and conditions, and it was something that people were proud of and looked up to. I know my mother loved working for the place. My sister still loves working for them, and I had a lot of pride in it. But when I see a company like this getting taxpayer subsidised money to cut people loose, to throw them on the scrap heap, who have had 30, 40 years loyalty to the company, it's absolutely disgraceful and it's shameful. This week in the State Parliament, I moved a notice of motion calling on the government to reverse the cuts and reinstate these people. We'll be debating that motion in a couple of weeks' time in the State Parliament. And I've got to tell you, along with my federal colleagues, Matt Thistlethwaite and Tony Sheldon, and our state leader of the Upper House, Adam Searle, we will be fighting this till the bitter end. These workers have the full support of the State Parliamentary Labor Party and, of course, the Federal Labor Party. We won't give up, and I want to congratulate the ASU, the TWU for the campaign. They have our full support as Labor parliamentarians in the Parliament. We can't let this happen. If you don't fight, you lose, and we'll be fighting it all the way. Thanks.